Welcome back to Seat Time, and this radiator is proper mangled. Luckily, the Bulletproof Designs radiator guard did not mangle the twist, but you can see that it definitely took a hit and had a divot. So we are gonna try to straighten this guy out a little bit, and then of course too, it looks like the inlet is a little bit cramped. If you have any tips or tricks after I get done with this, please put those in the comments. Again, feel free to make fun of me. I'm doing this to learn. Hopefully it teaches me something, and by doing that, it's entertaining and educational for you. So now, let's get to banging on this radiator.
There's a good proper look at how bent that inlet is. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna heat it up a little bit, and we are going to leverage, as we heat it up, these sockets to try to slowly round it out. And as it starts to move a little bit, we'll go up in size in sockets. We'll have our little T-handle here to use as leverage, and we'll see how far we get.
Got it. Ooh, check that out. Looking good. Woo-hoo.
As with any new process, there's a bit of a learning moment that has to happen. I felt like I knew what I needed to do to shape the radiator back, but it took a little bit to get it all sorted. Hopefully that helps y'all skip a few exploratory steps. I started with the mounting points of the radiator, trying to get it to sit square on my beading block. Once I started to dive deeper, I realized the 2x2 I was using as a leveraging stick needed some adjustment. I couldn't get the 2x2 close enough into the bent part of the radiator to make the contact needed to manipulate the metal. Whipping out the jigsaw and making a few cuts, I had a stick I could get tighter into the spots it needed to be for maximum beating. It's kind of fun to watch me continue to struggle a little bit. You can see I'm grabbing a bit more of the radiator, but it's still not very efficient. Another quick cut with the jigsaw to shorten my applicator stick, and we're a bit closer to a working prototype. Though my influence on the radiator is working, it's not 100% effective due to the radiator still bouncing around. I quickly tried the vise with the soft jaws, but I didn't like the idea of smushing the radiator within the sides. I'm finally making progress. A little bit of a beating, a little bit of movement, a little bit of a beating, a little bit of movement. But I couldn't get the radiator to stay completely stable. After a few more attempts without stabilizing the radiator, I decided to attempt more ways to secure it to the bench. As you can see, the clamp I'm using was getting me where I needed to be, but it still wasn't enough. It wasn't until I added the extra 2x2 between the radiator and the clamp that everything stayed stable, and I could have maximum beating pressure. I did spend a little bit of time with a small pick on the fins, but I didn't like the result. I decided I would wait until I pick up a radiator fin tool to make sure I don't tear or puncture anything important.
Well, here's my less mangled radiator, and it looks pretty dang good. And really all it was a piece of wood so that you're not damaging the radiator, so it's something soft, and then a sand mallet. I don't know if it's good to use a sand mallet or not. I just figured that this would be better for them. And then you could see too that this inlet was bent, and I was able to use those sockets to slowly heat and kind of push it out and work it back to where it's almost perfectly round. I mean, could I have spent more time on it? Sure. The one thing I haven't done is mess with the fins of the radiator. I don't have one of the little plastic tools, and I've kind of read around that if you try to use a screwdriver, you can get in there and scratch and screw those things up a little bit more than not. I don't know. If you guys have any thoughts on that, let me know. If I did anything that you think is not the way to approach this, let us know in the comments how we could do it better. If you've got a radiator and you've got questions, hopefully this gave you some answers. Maybe it just entertains you a little bit as we're here in the garage. I hope you guys enjoyed getting seat time. And if we don't get a chance to see you on the trail, we'll see you on the internet. See you for the next one.
Got it. Ooh, check that out. Looking good. Woohoo.